Coming your way on today's Philadelphia 76ers. Now, some more draft talk here on the show. Top 3 Sixers draft targets. But first, the Tyrese Maxey slander continues. He's not getting superstar calls against the Knicks in the first round like Jalen Brunson was, even though both All-Stars this past year. And then Maxey this week not named to an All-NBA team. So if you think that Maxey got snubbed, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, support Philadelphia's young prince. And with that, let's do some draft talk here on the program. This is Philadelphia 76ers Now. I'm Chase Sr. Hope all of you out there gearing up to have an awesome, fun-filled Memorial Day weekend. And as we talk about the draft here, Philadelphia holding the 16th overall pick, you know it's a possibility that Daryl Morey decides to trade this pick away. But if the Sixers stick and pick, who could and should they target? Let's take a look at some of those targets here on the show today. Devin Carter, the guard out of Providence, is the player who we have not talked about yet here on the show. 6'3", 195 pounds, a wingspan of 6'8", went to Providence. He's a junior, so declared for the NBA draft pretty early, and the numbers that he put up, very, very impressive during the 2023-2024 campaign. 19.1 points per game, 8.4 rebounds per game, 3.5 dimes, and the efficiency as far as the shooting numbers go, pretty damn solid. 47.3% from the deck and 37.7% from three-point range. His college numbers, you look at him here, and you've certainly seen a lot of growth take place. He did start his career at South Carolina, and when he played 30 games as a freshman, 9 points per game, little less than 4 rebounds, 42% from the floor, 26.7% from three-point range. But then you start to see some of the growth take place after he transfers to Providence. In 2022-2023, the numbers really do start to increase there. He's up to 13 points per game. The rebounding numbers go up to 4.9, 42.7% from the field, 29.9% from three-point range. And this past year, really able to display NBA-type talent. And this is his breakout season. And this is why I think it's important sometimes to stay in college and not declare a little bit too early, because you can really hone your craft. 19.7 points per game, 8.7 rebounds per, 47% from the field, and 37.7% from three-point range, playing under Providence head coach Kim English. When you scout him, he's definitely a lockdown perimeter defender, really good rebounder for his size, as evidenced by the numbers. He's a good finisher through contact. You need that at the NBA level because, of course, the physicality is going to be ratcheted up. You're playing against bigger and stronger athletes at the NBA level. He does lack an elite handle, but he can at least initiate a little bit on offense. 1 year of great three-point shooting, that is not ideal. Those are the concerns that I have. That great, you got better with that three-point stroke. Was it a mirage, or is that a sign of things to come? Here's what ESPN had to say about Devin Carter: the blend of experience, athletic tools, defensive motor, and high-level intangibles Carter brings figures to hold strong appeal to playoff caliber teams in this range of the draft. Carter tested quite well at the combine and fared well in 4-on-4 drills, electing to play and showcase his competitiveness, which likely helped further his case. His notable games against the national title-winning UConn Huskies: 24-15, 4 dimes, 2 steals, 2 blocks. You'll take that. Against Xavier, 22-11, 7 and 4. Against DePaul, 31-piece with 13 boards, 3 assists, 7 of 10 from three-point range. And against Creighton, another tournament team, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. So of note there, some savvy defensive plays, good rebounder, and good point production. Chip, your thoughts on the player here Will he be a good fit? Would he be a good fit for Philadelphia? And could he be in the Sixers' interest in that realm there at 16th overall?
Yeah, this is a player that the more and more I'm starting to get into draft stuff, he's really rising up my ranks, and he's rising up a lot of the ranks in general NBA draft talk as well. Definitely a threat to go a little earlier than 16. Does probably hold a little more value, though, to playoff contending teams than to teams that might be looking for a higher upside player. Not to say he doesn't have great upside, because he does, but he's definitely more of a win-now type of player, and I think he would be a tremendous, tremendous fit in the backcourt next to Tyrese Maxey. Long-term, obviously coming off the bench as well to start his career. Look, if he can knock down that three like he was his junior year as compared to his first couple years in college, and then he plays that elite defense that he has, he will play hard, crash the glass. Think of, what Josh Hart was doing to the Sixers in the playoffs. Yep. I mean, grabbing almost 9 boards a game at 6'3", unbelievable, right? That shows his motor, his talent, obviously, but to me that shows his competitiveness. He can do some stuff with the ball in his hands. He's kind of like that perfect combo guard off the ball, which the Sixers were kind of missing that with no DeAnthony Melton in the lineup, and if he doesn't return, I think he could be a great DeAnthony Melton replacement for the Sixers.
Yeah, that rebounding from that guard spot, that's intriguing to me because, again, you saw the impact that Josh Hart had in the playoffs. Physicality, nonstop effort, second chance opportunities, momentum swings, and those rebounding numbers that we showed, really, really impressive. With that, today's poll question is this: the Sixers' biggest draft need is what? You can go position, you can go skill set. Let us know down in the comment section right now. Let me let you know about Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America. They make daily fantasy sports so easy, and it's my go-to DFS app. You pick 2 or more players, you choose more or less on their projected stats, and you can win up to 25 times your money. Get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS for that deposit match to hit, and we want our picks to hit. And if you want to tail us, your picks can hit too. Game 2, Western Conference Finals. Mavs up 1-0. Mavs T-Wolves tonight. Jaden McDaniels, more than 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Kyrie Irving, he was cooking in Game 1. More than 22.5 points. Naz Reid, more than 10.5 points. Get those picks in with Prize Picks, and with Prize Picks, you can win big money. Withdraw your winnings. Pick more, pick less. Pick Prize Picks today. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Draft target number 2 is a player who we have talked about, and that is Tristan Da Silva, the forward out of Colorado who can really stretch the floor and light it up from deep. Really good size here at 6'9", 220, wingspan 6'10". A lot of experience at the college level. So the theme here between our first 2 draft targets, a lot of playing time at the college level. They're seasoned, so maybe they can get rotation minutes right from the jump. This past year for the Buffaloes, 16 points per game, 5+ rebounds. What I love, 49% from the field, almost 40% from three-point range. In scouting, Tristan Da Silva, knockdown three-point shooter. He did it in the regular season. He did it in the tournament. A really clean stroke with really long arms. He's a talented passer as a big who can really run the break. If Nick Nurse wants some athleticism there, that can play alongside Joel Embiid. He's not going to clog up the paint alongside Joel Embiid. Smart, competitive defender. To me, that's something that Nick Nurse, I think, would really like. Not a great rebounder for his size. So we talk about the Josh Hart type of element in rebounding the basketball. You'd lose that with Da Silva here, but he would be something, or could be somebody, I should say, who helps you out with just stretching the floor and knocking down some three-point shots. The concern with him for his scouting profile from us here on 76ers Now, he is 6'9". He is long, but he does lack explosiveness and a little bit of athleticism. How does he fare against strong players and tall players at that 4 spot? He could play a little bit of the 3. His college numbers, 4 years here, not much in his first year, improves mightily in his second year. The last 2 is where you really started to see the development takes center stage. The three-point numbers, though, in his final 3 seasons, very good. 37%, 39%, 39.5% with a little bit of volume. The tallies this past year, 16-5, 49% from the deck. Some of his notable games for Colorado this year. The 10th of December against Miami, 22-10 with 9 dimes. So the passing numbers clearly there with 2 steals. He's got those long arms to get in the way of passing lanes. Against Stanford, 27-11 and 2 steals with 5 of 10 from the three-point range. And then 2-28, February 28th against Cal, he goes off for 22, 7, 6, a block, and 2 steals. And Chip, we've talked about Da Silva before. That stretch forward, though, this is something, you lose Nick Batum, maybe you replace him with a player like Da Silva.
And that's exactly what I was going to bring up with Da Silva, is he kind of reminds me of almost like a combination of Nick Batum and Kyle Anderson for the Minnesota Timberwolves, where, you know, Kyle Anderson, that 3-4 who can handle the rock, obviously nicknamed Slow-Mo, he's very, very slow. Da Silva, a little more athleticism than Kyle Anderson, but not very much.
Yeah.
But he can handle the rock. He's very smart, can always make every single pass, which also applies to Nicholas Batum, where Kyle Anderson can't really shoot, Nick Batum can shoot. So he kind of has the best of both worlds there, right? You know, he's not going to dunk on you. He's not going to go off the dribble and get to the rim, but he's going to make winning plays. He's going to be able to shoot the ball, catch and shoot threes in the corner where he specializes. Just a winning player who, again, you lose a Nick Batum. You lose some of these other forwards, a Robert Covington, a Kelly Oubre. If you lose somebody, I think Da Silva would be a great pick at 16 because he's not going to have all-star, superstar upside, but shoot, he could be a real rotation player right away from day one. I think somebody that Daryl Morey would be smart to look into at number 16.
One more player to get to here as part of our Sixers draft target segment. And a reminder, this is why you subscribe to the channel, man. We put out a lot of videos. We put out a lot of long videos, a little bit of podcast style, since myself and Chip both bring you some analysis, but it's news, it's rumors, it is analysis. It's draft breakdowns and scouting profiles that you can't get anywhere else. We appreciate your support, of course. So lastly, it's Jacoby Walter, positional flexibility here, guard, forward, Baylor. And for Jacoby Walter, 6'5", wiry, 195 with a 6'10" wingspan. And why some scouting departments at the NBA level really like wingspan specifically, you get in the way of passing lanes here. You can defend the rim a little bit, but also alter shots, whether it be from the perimeter or on the swipe through if you do get beat, or just in general here. It just kind of allows you to make an impact in a couple of different areas with that metric there. In 2023, 2024, 14.5 points per game, 4+ rebounds, 37.5% from the field, 34% from 3. He's a more raw offensive player, which of course is a little bit worrisome, but a great movement shooter coming off screens. He does have the traits of a go-to scorer. Sometimes he's going to have that heat check, that frustrating shot where you're like, what are you doing pulling up or taking that shot that early in the shot clock? And you're hoping that he can develop into more of an efficient player. He's physical, patient driver, where he has that little stop-start ability, good defensive awareness off the ball, the handle, a little bit loose, lacks that elite strength on top of the lack of shooting efficiency. He did have some big games, though. And you look at the level of competition, like Auburn, Bruce Pearl, good team, especially good defensive team, 28-5, 4-7 from 3, 10-10 from the free throw line. If you can connect on your free throws, that tells me that you can be a decent shooter at the next level. It's all about the form and the touch. Against Texas, 22-7 with 2 steals, 9 of 11 from the charity stripe. And then against Mississippi Valley State, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 of 9 from three-point range. Chip, of these 3 players, and then you can obviously share your insights here on Walter. Who do you like for Philadelphia the most?
I think I would like Devin Carter the most out of all 3. I think he brings the best combination of upside, but also ability to play in the rotation right now. And I think his skill set is probably the most valuable out of all 3. When it comes to Walter, this is a very different player than the first 2 players we named, where he's more of a dart throw, or more of a high upside pick, I should say. He's definitely a candidate to go earlier as well, because teams in the lottery, back into the lottery, might see a player here who does have star upside. You know, at Baylor, definitely a little inefficient and wasn't always looked on to carry the offense because of, again, that loose handle. But he has the traits and he has the skill sets to be able to be a go-to scorer. He shows tough shot taking and tough shot making ability. But again, he's not going to be a guy that's going to come in this year and make an impact. This would be a pick. You're looking a couple years down the line, could be an interesting player to pair next to Maxey, and could be, you know, a secondary scorer who offers a little more, you know, dynamic athletic upside than someone like a Devin Carter or a Tristan Da Silva. But that being said, you know, if I'm Morey, they've already said, and it's been reported, the Sixers are looking to go all in this season. They want to do whatever they can to win a championship this season. If you are, Da Silva will be a great option, but I think I'd go Devin Carter. I think his combination of, you know, shooting ability, you know, provided it stays how it was his last year of college, with his hustle, his rebounding, his defense, which is what really separates him, I think, from Da Silva and Walter. That'd be my pick at 16.
And a couple of things that you said leads me to my belief that the Sixers do one of these two things. They're not going to draft a raw prospect, I don't think. If they do stay put at 16, they draft a player who can contribute, because they're going to have to fill out the roster with some players who can play right away, because once they give the max to Maxey and pay big-time dollars to another player or two, it's all about filling out the depth. And are you going to do that? Are you willing to do that with a developmental project? And then number two, that's why Philadelphia could trade this pick away, because they're trying to bring in more veterans. With that, we ask you this: who should the Sixers draft? DC for Devin Carter, JW for Jacoby Walter, TD for Tristan Da Silva. 3 different players here by drastic margins. If it's another player, be sure to drop that name. And as you venture down to the comment section, don't forget to hit that subscribe button here on 76ers Now for thought-provoking, informative, insightful, entertaining Sixers coverage right here on the channel.